From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, happy Friday evening to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. You know, we turned out to be a gorgeous day today, and we've got more of the same tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be even a little bit warmer. But that's not going to last forever. We are going to be looking at cooler temperatures by the second half of the weekend and a chance for some showers. But the timing of those showers is really going to depend on where you are. We'll get into that here in just a bit. Drier and warmer here for next week. But overall, we're looking at this trend where temperatures are going up and down. We're seeing a bit of that roller coaster ride, if you will, with those temperatures. So we take a look at your Krueger's Quickcast, and this is what you can expect here for tonight and through the day tomorrow. And that's the forecast that's just going to get you through the next 24 hours, and then we'll go into the deeper dive on that timing for that rain as we go into the second half of the weekend. So here you can see tonight, we're dropping down to the mid to upper 40s for the valley. We've got the mountains in the 20s and 30s. So another chilly night and cold, especially in the mountains, where you can see out towards along the coast, you're looking at temperatures in the mid 40s on average. So you're heading out the door tomorrow morning, and you're dealing with mainly clear skies out there. As I mentioned, it's still fairly cold in the mountains, but we are looking at temperatures mid-40s. You'll notice the clouds out there. I think we're going to be looking at a lot of high and mid-level clouds to start out the day tomorrow, but those clouds will dissipate through the afternoon. So here's what's going on. We have this big trough of low pressure. Now it's way off to our east. You see the milky color over the surface there. That's just the cold air that's in place here. Right, so that's moving to the east. Meanwhile, you see a little bit of a ridge right here. It's kind of hard to really point out here and see, but there is a ridge of high pressure. You see how the clouds are kind of moving up and over that ridge. So that ridge is building, and that's what's going to give us the warmer temperatures. Behind it, this area of low pressure right here, colder air, that's all going to be moving in, and that's going to be our next chance for some rain. But again, we'll get into that a little bit later. Here's your future cast for the next 24 hours. And again, we're waking up tomorrow morning with that kind of veil of thin high and even a few mid-level clouds out there. And by the afternoon, that pretty much dissipates. But there you can see the leading edge of that next round of rain that'll be here by the second half of the weekend. Now, we do have a beach hazard statement that's been issued for Saturday night through Sunday evening. That risk of sneaker waves pretty much through the day on Sunday is something you need to pay attention to. So here's your forecast for your Saturday. Yeah, lots of sunshine. Temperatures mid-70s, a beautiful start to your weekend with temperatures in the low to mid-60s for the higher elevations and probably somewhere in the low to even some mid-60s for some of you along the coast. All right, let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. So we've got that chance for showers late in the day Sunday, probably closer to the evening hours on Sunday for the valley. A few scattered showers possibly on Monday, but don't count on much, and then we dry it out and warm up here as we take you through next week. For the coast, the rain is going to be here by Sunday morning most likely. Still a chance for some scattered showers Monday afternoon, and then, of course, clearing out and drying out. Now, we do expect to maybe see a couple of weak systems that'll clip Tuesday and Tuesday and Thursday of next week, but overall, still not a lot of rainfall there. Now, for Weaverville, for example, it's going to be the afternoon on Sunday that you'll see that rain move in, and still some showers, possible showers, through the day on Monday. Now, for Siskiyou County, you can see a chance for showers probably by late in the day, maybe some scattered showers Monday, but I do expect dry conditions all day on Sunday for places like Modoc County and the Eastern Mountains. All right, so that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Before we get into our deeper dive, there's a 24-hour streaming channel that's really just great access for you. And it's available on all platforms that Weather NorCal is available on. So, for example, weathernorcal.com, the free Weather NorCal app, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and anywhere YouTube is available, including your TV, from the YouTube app, right? So all you have to do is just search for Weather NorCal, and you're good to go on these devices. You're good to go on the YouTube channel for Weather NorCal, and you can also watch those videos on demand on the YouTube app as well. So if you're wanting to watch the video forecast you're watching now, you can watch that right from your TV if you're not already doing it already. Yeah, all right, good for you, all right? So here you can see here, we do have that ridge of high pressure. And again, it's kind of hard to really point out, but you can see the clouds kind of moving up and over that ridge. As I mentioned, behind that, this is what's going to be kind of moving eastward. So the ridge builds. It's not the strongest of ridges, but it's going to be strong enough to give us some warmer temperatures. And then this will all just kind of ride over that ridge. Temperatures drop, and we eventually even see some showers in the forecast. So I'm going to walk you through the timing of all that, and we'll show you going through the night tonight and tomorrow. So as I mentioned, by tomorrow morning, we've got that thin veil of high and even a few mid-level clouds out there, but it will be a dry day. In fact, it clears out with more sunshine for the second half of the day on Saturday. Now, this is what's going to be approaching. Okay, so as we go into Saturday morning, around 8 o'clock in the morning, there you can see that rain is just beginning to approach. Now, from earlier today, this was already just kind of hitting the coast. So sometime around the mid-morning hours, we're going to start to see that rain hitting the coast. Then we take you through the morning hours, and that's when the rain really is going to start getting heavier throughout the morning hours. So by noon, you can see it's just making its way to western Siskiyou County, just making its way into parts of western Trinity County, but most of that rain is along the north coast. So places like Crescent City, the inland areas, even Garberville. Garberville is going to have to hold off until the late morning hours before you start seeing that rain. All right, so we take you through the afternoon to about 5 p.m. So you see where most of the rain is. Central western Siskiyou County, all of Trinity County, all of Del Norte, and all of Humboldt counties. It's just beginning to try to creep its way into the valley, especially the north end of the valley. So places like Redding, sure, by 5 p.m. you may see a sprinkle or a light shower developing, but for the most part you are dry through the day on Sunday, and then dry all day for most likely Modoc County. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to that, but you're mainly dry for Modoc County and the eastern mountains through the entire day on Sunday. All right, now let's take you into Sunday night through 10 p.m. That's as far as this forecast model goes. But you can see that main band of rain is now pushing through sometime in the nighttime hours for the valley. So between 5 and 10 p.m. is when this band of some moderate rainfall begins to push on through. And then as this moves eastward, it's showing signs of getting weaker before it actually does hit the eastern mountains and even Modoc County. So we'll probably see less rainfall here as we go into late Sunday night and early Monday morning. But you get the idea. It's basically pretty much almost all day long, the coast will see the rain. Through the afternoon, the rain hits places like Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, and then by the evening hours into the overnight hours, we're seeing the heavier rainfall now making its way into the valley, and it's the overnight hours into early Monday that the eastern mountains and Modoc County will get in on some of that rainfall. So the rainfall estimates at least through Sunday night. All right, so now we're seeing that potential, and this is something I mentioned a little bit earlier. I'm thinking somewhere around 1/4 of an inch, give or take. So I think everyone in the valley could certainly see that. Most of it, though, will be along the north coast. That might be overdoing it at over 2 inches, but you get the idea. The rain is going to kind of stall itself out a little bit here and slowly move through the north coast on Sunday, and that will allow for more rainfall there. And as we typically see, it kind of breaks apart as it moves closer to the valley, and that's probably why it won't be as heavy. So you can see even parts of Trinity County, 1/4 to maybe 1/2 an inch. And maybe about 1/4. I'd even say maybe even 1/2 an inch for some of you in western Siskiyou County as well. But then through Sunday's 10 p.m., nothing here to the eastern mountains, right? Because it's not until overnight Sunday to Monday that we start to see some of that rain. And you can see that here. So as we go into the overnight hours and into the morning, 6 a.m., you see how it's kind of breaking apart at this point. And then on Monday, I think there's going to be some leftover instability. So what that means is through the day on Monday, I think we're going to see scattered showers, and the best chances will probably be in the mountains and for the coast. And we could also see some of those stray showers making their way into the valley. But overall, the main event is going to be Sunday into Sunday night. And then by Monday, it's just some scattered showers, not much more on top of what we'll already see at that point. And of course, by Monday night, just a few showers kind of lingering out towards the north coast. But overall, temperature-wise, we're seeing our temperatures going up and down. That's something I kind of touched on a little bit earlier. So the cooler air that's been impacting us this week, that's moving on out, and it's making way for this ridge of high pressure as it builds in. That's that weak ridge I was telling you about that's kind of hard to see on the satellite image. Well, that's where it is here for tomorrow, and that's why we do expect warmer temperatures. But this right here is going to ride over that ridge and flatten it. So when you flatten out that ridge, what does it do? Well, it drops your temperatures down. So we're going to see our temperatures drop, and that's also that chance for showers as we go into Sunday and into Monday as well. Then that colder air retreats back up to the north. This ridge rebuilds, but it builds off to our east over the desert southwest. That will expand into Northern California and give us warmer temperatures. But then eventually we're going to see this colder air come in toward the end of next week into that next weekend, and our temperatures begin to drop again. So you can kind of see this up and down trend here with our temperatures here. And this also may be the sign of some more wet weather toward the end of next week. But as it stands right now, looking at the long-range forecast models, it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of rainfall should we see any. So we'll be on the lookout for that, but we've still just got to get through this weekend, right? Get through Sunday night and into Monday. But there's that trend I was talking about, going down, then back up, and then back down again. So just that little mini kiddie roller coaster ride, if you will. Now the wave heights for tomorrow, they're going to be phenomenal, right? If you have to be on a small boat, you're going to be in good shape here. But by the time we do get into Sunday, that storm system approaches, yeah, those wave heights are increasing significantly. In fact, to a point that the National Weather Service has actually issued a beach hazard statement for Saturday night through Sunday evening. It's mainly through Sunday that you're going to have that risk for sneaker waves. So just be aware of that here through the day on Sunday. Here's your Saturday marine forecast, though. Yeah, very nice. Southwest winds at about 5 knots. Waves from the northwest at 2 feet at 8 seconds. Your high and your low tide, and no advisories at least for your Saturday. But of course, that beach hazard statement for your Sunday. So here it is, your forecast for tonight. Temperatures mid to upper 40s for the valley. Mainly 20s and 30s for the higher elevations. And I'm expecting those low to even some mid 40s here overnight tonight for the coast. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast for your Saturday. Absolutely gorgeous, mainly in the 70s for most of us here for tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be not until Sunday that we're talking about those chances for rain. 62 degrees for Eureka tomorrow. Look for a high of 73 for Garberville as well as Alder Point, and Blue Lake about 69. Up north about 71 degrees for Gas Key, 72 for Orleans, and 76 degrees in Willow Creek. We take you out to Siskiyou County, where temperatures there should be in the mid to upper 60s, even some low 70s like 71 degrees for Hornbrook. Look at that up towards Happy Camp, a high of about 75 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast mainly in the low 60s, a little bit cooler in Cedarville at about 54, 57 in Eagleville, and 57 degrees in Fort Bidwell. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. And by the way, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, you're dry all weekend long, including Sunday. 59 degrees though for a high tomorrow in Westwood, 61 for Chester, and 67 degrees in Paradise. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south with temperatures in the mid 70s, 74 degrees for Pasquinta, 75 for Corning, 76 for Hamilton City and Willows. And we take a look at your 7-day forecast for Chico. I put the word PM in there for Sunday because I'd say late afternoon, probably closer to the evening hours. On Sunday is when you can see some chances for showers in Chico. So really, for all intents and purposes, it will be dry through most of the weekend. Sunday night into early Monday morning, a chance for showers. Now there may be some scattered showers on Monday, but don't count on much. Drier and warmer going through next week. All right, here's your Valley neighborhood forecast to the north. 73 degrees for Lakehead. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. Go for a hike. Whatever it is you want to do outside should be a good day for it. 76 degrees out in the city of Shasta Lake. 76 for Redding and Cottonwood. 77 for a high in Anderson. All right, so there's a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. The temperatures are dropping a bit on Sunday. Now, I think Redding may see showers a little bit sooner than the south end of the valley for Chico, for example. So I'd say probably late afternoon, early evening, you're starting to see those showers move in. But the bulk of the rain moves in for Sunday night. Monday, though, still a few scattered showers and a little bit cooler. But then we're warming up and drying it out here for Tuesday through Friday with temperatures back into the 70s. That is your Friday evening update. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to tune in over the weekend. Chase Wilson will have your updates at 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m., and I'll be back on Monday morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have yourselves a great weekend.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.